Alright, so in this tutorial we're basically going to create a low poly primitive cartoon character model. So first thing you want to do is open up Maya. Let's see, let's open up 2017. And I'm going to pause it while it loads. Alright, so Maya's up and loaded. So what we want to do is I'm not going to move in any of these views here, but I need to bring in some image planes. Okay, so what I did is that I created these images. So basically I created this one here, which is over here. Basically it's a turnaround sketch, and then I cut it into sections for each one. Okay, so I got a front, 3/4, and a profile. Okay, so in here I'm going to use those as part of this. But before I do anything, the very first thing you do when you start any project is a new project. So project window, I'm going to go new, and I'm going to call it Gen Car Care for a generic cartoon character. I'm going to navigate to my desktop. You should always work off your desktop, and I'm actually going to put it inside of here. And I'm actually going to also put underscore Maya so that I know it's a Maya project folder, and I'll hit accept. Okay. Now once that's done, it will automatically make this, and it has all the folders and stuff that I need. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to grab the ones I need. So I need the profile, and I need frontal, and we'll also grab top too. So as well as the arm and the foot. So I'm just going to do Control C or Command C if you're on a Mac, and I'm going to go to Source Images, and I'm going to Control V. Now I did PNGs. You could do JPEGs, a bunch of other different formats. I just typically like PNGs. I'm going to open this back up, and now I'm going to do is, so this is the front. So View, Image Plane, Import Image, and you can see it brings me right to where I want. So frontal, open. There it is. Same thing here. Where are you? Sorry. View, image plane, import image, profile, open, and then view, image plane, import image, and we'll do top, which is really just a circle because I just did his head. And we are good. So next I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, and now I can move in the camera. It's fine. And I'm just going to see if I need to move this at all. So looking at this, come on, it's relatively straight. I don't think I really need to move that, so that's fine. That actually looks okay too. And let's see this. So I'm just tapping spacebar, and that's also straight. So that all works out well. So if I look at here though, what I'll notice is that they're kind of in the way. So I need to push these back to their direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, just kind of click and drag over it to grab that frontal one. I'm going to go to the, not the tool settings, I need the attribute editor, which is Control A, or you click this, which is kind of uncool that it's not part of, let's drag it in there. There we go. It like broke it. Okay, hang on, that's not what I wanted to happen. Let's see, how do I get you to be what you should be? Here we go. Anyway, so we'll just go with that for now. So I go down to here, and I see where it says image center, X, Y, Z. When you see three numbers, it's either RGB or XYZ. It's almost always XYZ, because rarely do you see RGB that you're actually going to adjust. So I need to move this one in. If I look at this, the world space here, here's Z. I want to move it negative Z. I want it to go back here. And probably going 2 units back is probably enough. So XYZ, I'm just going to type in -2, and that'll move it 2 units back. I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to move -2 and X, so that'll be the first one, -2. And then I'm going to take this, and I need to move down, and I'm going to guesstimate, and so that's Y, we'll do -4. Alright, and that looks pretty good. So now they are all shifted away. I'm going to turn off the grid by clicking on my waffle here. That turns the grid off. And I also am not going to need these in this view. I need them for the orthographics, but not for my perspective view. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to show, and turn image planes off, and now they are off. Okay. So the next thing to do after I've got all of these on the up and up, I'm gonna turn this back on just so I can kind of see it. Is to basically create the primitives I need in order to produce the character. So if you look at this here, it might be easier actually if I open, let's see, images, this here. The character is basically made of these, cool, it's not popping up, nice, alright. Oh, it's because it's, okay, well, if you look, you can see I drew basically a conceptual model underneath. So basically the character is developed from primitives. So the idea is that the same primitives that I drew in order to develop the character in the 2D form is the same ones I'm generally going to use in order to create the 3D form. Okay, so what I like to do is use kind of the same tools. So I'm going to make sure I'm on modeling and polygons, and then I'm going to go to create polygon primitives. We're going to go to sphere. I'm at the option box, and I make sure that I go 8 by 8. Okay, and the reason why is you'll see in a second. It allows me to make quads, and they're nice clean polys. Okay, so create, there it goes. And I'm going to go ahead, and you can see I got tries on the top here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get, I right click and drag up. But see, I just flicked it real fast. But I'm going to grab this one, this one, this one, and this one. Delete. See, it's nice and quads. Boom, 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 boom. Delete. And then what I'm going to do is I hit W for the move tool. I'm going to bring it, drag it over here. So I'll just keep duplicating that every time I need one. Now I'm going to do is make a cylinder. Create, polygon primitives, cylinder, option box. And I'm going to make sure it says 8. And then we will create. And basically same general process. So I'm going to grab, boom, 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 hit Q. So I don't have the handles. It's just the select. And I will delete those. And boom, 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 boom. Good. Alright, and I'm going to click and drag to the right, which is object mode, but I just did it like a flick. W for the move tool. Pull it up and over. And the last thing I'll need is a cube, but honestly I can make those out of anything, so that's really not that big of a deal. So, I'll just start from the head and work my way down. So obviously the head's the circle, right? So I'm going to Control D or Command D. I'm going to bring it, drag it down here. And I just tap spacebar, and I'm going to hold X to grid snap. Grid snap it to the center line, this origin. I'm going to drag it down here. I'm going to look over here, and that looks pretty good there too. So now what I'm going to do is, in order to see the image behind it, I'm going to go to Shading, X-Ray, and now I can kind of see behind it, right? The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on Wireframe on Shaded, which is this button here. That when I click off, I can see the wireframe still. Basically, I'm just going to scale this. I'm going to grab it by the center, move it down, and that looks okay. Tap spacebar, spacebar, over here. And I'm going to do again, shading, X-ray, and scale it just up slightly. Okay, so it's a relatively round head. I kind of just did use a sphere. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, most of the time what you typically see is this pear shape for classical character, which basically they have a cylinder that comes down to this sphere shape. So basically I'm going to take my cylinder here, I'm going to Control D or Command D if you're using a Mac. I'm going to pull it down yonder, and I'm going to go down here, spacebar, and we are going to scale this down. I'm going to W for move tool, hold X for grid snap, and make sure it's right on origin. You want everything to be right on origin, because inevitably what we're going to do is we're going to take it, we're going to flip it to make the other half, okay? So I'm going to take this up, and vertex, just right click vertex, and I'm going to just grab the center here, and basically go to the neck, take this, move it down here to basically where the waistline is, and okay, and that looks okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this over a little. Good. So we got that going on. Next thing I'm going to do is make the bottom of the sphere. And we're going to go ahead and Control D. Boom. Alright, and or Command D if you're using a Mac. I'm going to go to face. So right click, drag down to face, delete these ones. I'm going to hold X for grid snap, boom, and I'm going to pull it up here. And we're going to drag this to make it smaller. Alright, and I'm going to right scale here. And we're going to scale it this way too. Alright, and now we have the bottom of what we got. Alright, so now we kind of have what we got going on there. Alright, so now we need to do is make the legs and the arms, which again is relatively simple. So we're going to go ahead and pull this down here. And what we're going to do is basically try to scale this leg, scale this down, okay. Alright, and scale it bigger. Vertex, up, down. Like that. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then we are going to take this one, Control D, W, W, pull this down over here. Okay. And I'm going to hit E for rotate, and I'm going to hold J, which is increment. It'll do 15 degrees by default. You can change that number later on. And I am going to scale this. I'm kind of guesstimating because I didn't actually draw the arm across like I probably should have. And then we'll go ahead and scale this wider. And we will go out. And that looks okay. And it needs to be a little bit thinner. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this right here. I grabbed this one to scale both in the X and the Z at the same time, but not the length, not so not the Y axis. Okay. And I might put a cube in there too, but I'm actually not going to worry about that right now. And I could put a cube. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. So just so that we do it. So then I'll do a cube, and I'll bring it up and over, and we will scale it. All right, and we will go like that, and that looks okay. I'm going to Control D, W, and we'll pull it down here. And we will pull it down. I'm going to go to the side view here. Okay. And they go down here. Alright. And we're just going to grab this one vert and pull it up. Alright, go here, and I'm going to scale it a little bit thinner. Alright. Okay, and basically I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to hold shift and select this so I have them both. I'm going to hit Control G to create a group, and then what I'm going to do is do edit, duplicate special, hit the option box, and I'm going to go to copies fine. Let's go instance, and then it's X, Y, Z for scale. I'm going to do -1. And then I'll hit duplicate special, and it'll make the other side. And now if I hit this light, since there's no light, it's going to make it a silhouette. And then I can kind of see what a character looks like in silhouette. And you have a rough view and version of it in a very primitive way. So the next thing we really need to do basically is to take all this, further define it, roughly the forms, and also combine them together in order to make a total model. And we will do that in the next video.